Hi Aries, so welcome, thanks for joining me. So this will be a general messages reading for Aries, see what's going on with you. Obviously it won't resonate with everyone, so obviously just take what resonates with your situation, okay? Okay guys, so like I said, general, so just take what resonates, okay? So I'm really going to tune into my guides and tune into the cards now as well. So what messages do we need to know for Aries? Okay, so we've got the Seven of Swords. So we've got air energy, we've got Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy here, a bit of water energy as well. There's definitely communication problems here. Someone with a blocked throat chakra or a closed throat chakra that's for some reason they can't communicate something. Tell me more about this Six of Swords. Tell me more about this Six of Swords, please. There's probably fear. Someone's afraid to communicate something. Yeah. So far, someone's definitely needing to or is walking away from something. Coming away from toxic waters, troubled waters, to go towards something that's a lot calmer for them. You know, somebody might need to, you know, offload some sort of baggage that they've got as well. Emotional baggage, toxic baggage, you know, carrying too many burdens. Okay, so we've got Five of Pentacles. So we've got Earth energy, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Got Eight of Pentacles, got the Hangman. And then we've got a bit of fire energy here as well. Sagittarius energy with the Two of Wands. Okay. So Taurus, you have got the Eight of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Swords. Then you've got the Major Arcana, the Hangman, Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so it looks like you are or you could be needing to. Okay, this is messages from the universe and my guides. It's saying that something isn't working out for you and that you need to release something. You feel stuck in a situation, you could be struggling financially, you know, you could be carrying too many burdens. You know, you're trying to support yourself, but it's like you're trying to support other people as well, sort of thing. I do feel with you and your person, I feel that they are some sort of burden on you. That's what I'm feeling with this Five of Pentacles. Either the person you're dealing with or you, Taurus, could be feeling left out in the cold. You feel lost, you feel stuck. Look, you know, I just feel that this person is kind of dragging you down, you know, and you could be finally just expressing how you feel and taking a leap of faith and setting boundaries and cutting cords and just releasing it. Look, making a change here. You know, you want structure for yourself, you want balance for yourself, you want your finances to be good. You know, you could be suffering financially because of other people's issues or baggage that they sort of offload onto you, you know. And with this Hangman and, you know, this Two of Wands and this Six of Swords, I really feel that you're going to be walking away from something here. If not you, it'll be them. But I strongly feel that it's you. Someone here feels very left out in the cold, feels very lost. They're striving, look, to create balance for themselves here. Trying to keep things above board. You know, trying to look after everyone, trying to keep things afloat. Yeah. Also, there could be a female competitor, you know. With this Eight of Pentacles, I do believe that you just really want to focus on yourself. Like I said, creating structure for yourself, creating balance. You could be going travelling here. Look, with this Two of Wands, it's saying that you need to release something here and walk away from something. With this Two of Wands, look, you need to make a decision here. You know, because it's kind of sort of dragging you down. Someone here feels very, very lost and lonely and out in the cold, struggling financially. You could have debt. Someone here could be too proud to ask for help. Maybe that's why I've got a closed throat chakra. Someone is unable to communicate how they feel or openly express how they feel. You know, some of you could be having a potential job opportunity or something like that. Going on a journey, going on a trip. There's strong energy of travelling here. With this Eight of Pentacles, like I said, you just want to, you know, create for yourself, manifest for yourself, pursue your heart's desires, you know. So you might need to be in this sort of hangman mode, meditate. You need to let something go, make adjustments, make changes, release something that's not good for you and walk away from it, okay? You could be feeling stuck, you might need to meditate here, yeah? But someone is definitely walking away from something here, okay? Because I feel that whoever you're dealing with here, as I said, it's too much baggage, it's too much burdens on you, you know. Definitely something here to do with finances. Okay, my guides are telling me to pull 2 more. I just feel that you've got a lot of potential here, Taurus, and I just feel somebody here is dragging you down. They're kind of like an anchor, if you know what I mean. You feel like you've got chains around your ankles. You know, something is really burdening you and you need to release it and walk away from it. Definitely walking away from something that could be quite toxic, or, you know, that something that is, it's not emotionally fulfilling, you know. And that's why the hangman's there, because you feel stuck, you feel out in the cold, you know, you don't know what to do, you feel that you're at the end of your tether, you know. There's baggage here. You could have children here as well. You want to create balance and structure for your children, yeah. You want stability in your life, you know, yeah. And I just said this as well, okay. So I just pulled 2 more majors. Okay, so we've got the Tower, yeah, and then we've got the Devil. So we've got Capricorn energy, okay. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn, or a fire sign, or a water sign, yeah. So you're definitely walking away from something that is toxic, okay. I had a feeling that that Devil would come out. I do believe that you're kind of fed up of a situation here. You know, this person has definitely got issues and you're tired of it, as I said. They could be, you know, relying on you for money, status, power. There is definitely someone here with codependencies and addictions. And I just said that as well here about, you know, you feel chained. Look, this person, they're really dragging you down, you know. They could have anger problems, and it's taken this Tower moment, look, for you to sort of have a wake-up call that this is not a good situation to be in. It's very toxic, it's not healthy, you know, you're unhappy, and you're just going to cut cords with it and walk away to something calmer, yeah. There's a bit of emotional turmoil here, you know. As I said, this Tower moment, it needs to happen because it puts things in perspective for you, okay. It opens your eyes to things, it gives you a wake-up call, a reality check, yeah. It's time to remove yourself from this Tower, away from this Devil's influence. Communicate that if you can, set boundaries here. And just wanting to go it alone, you know. There needs to be sacrifices here, look, because of the Hangman and the Devil, look. You need to release something here and walk away. Yeah, there could be a female competitor here as well. That could be part of the codependencies, third party situation. I just feel that this isn't mutual, that it's not, there isn't any compromise here. This person looks quite selfish, you know. This is probably what's getting in the way of, you know, a union or a new start or a connection that you have with someone. Third parties, addictions, you know, the toxicness. Someone here is very jealous, very possessive, very controlling. Someone here is very arrogant as well, very selfish. Also I'm hearing, I feel that you feel that you are very restricted and trapped in this relationship or this connection or who you're dealing with. Okay, it's time to put yourself first here. Okay, I think I picked this up last time as well. You're very focused on your finances, creating balance for yourself, creating structure for yourself, okay? It's time to make a decision, release this, yeah? And go towards something that's calmer and that's more beneficial to your life and that's more, you know, emotionally fulfilling, okay? Because you just feel left out in the cold at the moment, Some of you might need to just work on yourself for a while. But you know, overall, to summarize, it does look like a very toxic situation. You know, it's quite negative as well. There's a lot of negative energy and negative people around you, kind of dragging you down, getting in the way of your passions and your heart's desires. And you know, there's no balance here, there's no compromise. You know, I'm really feeling this devil energy here. Very dark, bad energy. I feel that you're just going to make the decision to, you know, just walk away with your dignity and put yourself first, because it's making you feel like this. Look, if it means that you have to leave someone out in the cold, then so be it, you know, because you just want to work on yourself. As I said, your profit, your grain, your pentacles, you know, you might want to go towards something that you're dedicated to, you're determined, like I said, passionate, manifest for yourself. Look, you're a hard worker, and that's probably why you're feeling stuck, because you're unable to openly communicate, because it looks like you're around someone here that's very toxic and, you know, controlling, possessive, jealous, yeah, egotistical. You might need to release fear here as well. You know, like I said, you're unable to openly communicate something to someone. Boundaries, you know, you might need to set boundaries, cut cords with something and walk away. I feel that's what you're going to do, okay? And I feel that this Tower moment's come to, you know, give you a wake-up call. It's time to take myself away from this impossible toxic situation, okay? There's definitely money losses here because of somebody's codependencies. Okay, now with this Two of Wands, you will definitely be making a decision soon, okay? To go traveling, to go on a journey, find yourself again, work on yourself, work on self-love, create balance, create structure, okay? Because at the moment, this is very imbalanced at the moment, yeah? And it is causing you to kind of question your sanity. You feel left out in the cold, you feel lost, feel a bit hopeless, worried about finances, worrying that you're never going to get out of this situation, Taurus. Because as I said, whoever you're dealing with, they're very, very selfish and self-centered. That's what I keep hearing. I'm really tuning into the energy of this devil. Their impact on you and their influence on you is not good. They're very egotistical as well. Definitely female competitors here. I think you just want to find yourself again, yeah? Walk away, cut cords with it, put it in the past. Yeah, you need to unchain yourself here, look, from this devil's influence. You know, this person could have anger problems here as well. I believe that you've tried and tried and tried, but it's just too toxic. Yeah, so you're kind of, with some of you, you're in a meditative state here, reaching a decision, sacrificing, making changes, making adjustments. Yeah, releasing any fear, setting boundaries, and walking away from something that doesn't serve you anymore. From toxic waters to calmer waters, yeah? So there might have been a bit of bad judgment here, you know? You needed to have this Tower moment, you needed to have this wake-up call, okay? It really does put things in perspective for you when you have a Tower moment, okay? Someone here is quite vindictive as well. It could be who you're dealing with, or it could be who they're involved with. Very vindictive, I'm hearing. I don't feel that this person's got any respect for you either. No, they haven't. You just feel restricted, chained and tied down, and that, you know, you feel that you've lost your identity a bit. There's no boundaries here. There's no compromise. There's no give and take. That's what I keep hearing from my guides. It's very, very imbalanced. This could have been going on since winter, quite a few months. Yeah. But it looks like you will remove yourself from this situation. You know, you're going to stand your ground, put yourself first. You know, sever ties with it, cut cords with it, and walk away. With that Six of Swords, okay? Because it's not fair on you, is it? You know, you want to manifest your heart's desires into reality, like I said. Find your identity again. Work on you, work on self-love, yeah? It's time to make yourself a priority. Very, very, very toxic. That's all I keep hearing here. So you'll be walking away here. That's what you're going to make the decision about here. Even though you're feeling stuck and lost and out in the cold, you know, as I said, you're at the end of your tether, but you will set boundaries and you'll walk away here. Okay, towards calmer waters. Okay. You're seeking something better. That's what I keep hearing. You're going to say, you know, I've made the decision, you know, to walk away because it's not good for me. It's not good for my mental health. I want something better, please. Okay? Something better, please. That's what I keep hearing. All they think about is themselves, you know. Very, very toxic. Toxic, toxic. You're going to be setting boundaries here. I feel that you're just going to explode and set boundaries and just stand your ground and tell them, look, I've had enough. You know, I'm going to put myself first. You're going to step into your power. You're going to speak your truth, you know, because some of you could be afraid to talk or to openly communicate. You've got a block or closed throat chakra. You need to release that fear, you know, and make the decision to walk away with that Six of Swords. You know, they're getting in the way of your dreams, your heart's desires, your passions, yeah? You might want to go travelling. They're weighing you down, you know, they're like an anchor. You want something better. That's what I keep hearing here. Something better, please. I know it wasn't the best reading, but I have to be honest. I read energies, okay? I hear messages from my guides, yeah? I really do hope that you find harbour here with this Six of Swords. Something better, please. That's what you're saying here. Alright, Taurus. So, I hope I've helped, you know, I hope I provided insight and guidance. I hope it was insightful. I hope it resonates. Let me know in the comments section.